for this to propagate. Just want to say hi to everybody who's checking this out. We are just taking our time to get started today because we are finally moving this weekly update over to where it should be, which is the Gimbalabs YouTube channel and the Gimbalabs Twitter account. The only reason we haven't done this yet is because we've been trying all sorts of new things lately. And so sometimes when you're moving fast, you take the lowest hanging fruit. And for us, that was using the workshop maybe accounts as we got started. But we're finally ready. We've got these accounts up and running, and we're excited to have them moving forward. I see us on Twitter. That's good.
Yes.
And we'll confirm. Yeah, we'll confirm where this shows up on YouTube sometime soon. So it's really exciting to be here. We've got a slightly different sort of weekly update this week. All of us were talking before going live today. It's been a really busy week. It's been a really fascinating week because we are at a stage where the most important work we have to do is big picture, creating systems, operationalizing a bit, and really making sure that we are prepared to bring on board everybody who shows up. We've been saying since day one, our goal is to find a place for anybody who takes the time to come ask us for help getting started, finding their place, finding engaging projects to work on. And we're thrilled about how that's going. And the simple fact is we have to spend really thoughtful time trying to do it right. So our agenda is the same as usual. We want to start with some shout outs, share out what we've done and our next steps, as well as your next steps. But what we're also going to share today is our Catalyst Fund 4 proposal, because we think that it provides a really nice lens for what we want to accomplish over the next 3 months. So more on that in just a moment. But as always, let's start with some shout outs. So we were also talking about how if we named the entire developer crew, it would be all the usual suspects. You know who you are. And I just want to say, you all are blowing our minds right now. It has been such an incredible week of watching people think and grapple with problems. And I wish I could bottle up this energy so that everybody else who's finding their place in the Cardano community could take a drink of it and jump in to the level of research and development that's going on right now. If you're curious to hear more about what we're doing, just show up. All right, we are so excited to get you involved. And as for the results of that work, let me just say a lot more to come really soon. Is that fair to say? All right. This is real. It's not only helping us with the specifics of the project we're working on right now, but it's really helping us to define how we operate here at Gimbalabs. So from every detail that's come up this week to the high level view, thank you to everybody who's showing up for that. Julie, you want to take the Tom and Alex thanks?
Okay, of course. Yeah, I can take it. This week we had actually our, can say, final presentation, our logo. We can say that, and how it's going to look and feel, and some of the sense of the design elements. And yeah, as usual, I would love to just share the concept, but I can't. We're so thrilled that this hopefully gets live in the upcoming weeks, just to get started and develop from there further. So thank you very much, Tom and Alex. We are really thrilled by your work you're doing.
It was really emotional seeing your work, guys. So yeah, just seconding that. And we can't wait to have this stuff out there. to replace this logo. If you're watching on Twitter, you can see the hand-drawn logo that we started with. I know that Thomas cringed when he saw that, as he should have. Yeah, so really pumped to bring that out, and I think it really does help to capture what we're trying to do here. And then finally, again, without naming people specifically, you know who you are. Everybody asking questions and giving feedback right now, it's so essential. I wish we could deliver on your feedback instantly because it's all so good and you are all so right. And I just want you to know that we hear you, and it's really helping to chart our course. So thanks, and please do keep it coming. What have we done this week? Kyle, you want to take this away?
Yeah, sure. So yesterday on Coding on Chain, that was a really probably one of my favorite sessions, to be honest, because it was a good mix of that high level talk, but actually starting to implement some of the stuff that we've been talking about with the event ticketing. So that's been really fun. But yeah, and then let's see, release. Yeah, okay. So I got the Cardano Sharp video out there, and I've been getting contacted by a bunch of .NET devs who are getting excited, and trust me, I'm feeling it too. I'm anxious to see what we can do with Cardano and bringing the two ecosystems together. So
Kyle's building a section of the ocean right now.
Okay, so we also have new fixes for the customized Dandelion project. The way you use that project is you make an overlay on top of this base of templates. I've been using it. I've been using my own testnet.dandelion.link overlay where I fixed some things and patched the original templates. Those weren't added to the official project, so I've been incorporating these patches thanks to Will, because he wanted to try the deployment and it didn't work, so he reported to me, and that's what I expect everyone that hits with any wall while trying to deploy the whole suite of services. Just hit me up on Discord, and we will try to help to get it started.
Awesome. I'm excited to try to break some Kubernetes with you next week, Roberto. And I threw in alongside Coding on Chain that dev courses point on the first bullet point, because I saw some parallels there. It feels really cool that these initial concepts, these pilots of ways to engage both synchronously and asynchronously, we knew at the beginning that the way we were doing both of these things was just a place to get started, and that real goal is interactivity and project-based learning. And that came through loud and clear yesterday on Coding on Chain. There's also just been a kind of transition of the dev courses, and I needed this because it was me just talking a lot at first, because when you're teaching and you're not sure exactly what you're doing, it's much easier to talk a lot than to really engage people. But that's not project-based learning, right? So I've been refining those courses, and also with participation from Cole in the Adopt course. We've been building out a site for his Catalyst project to help him better elucidate what that project is about. And then also with Faye and Buki and Juan, who are showing up for the Proof of Africa course twice per week, we have transitioned into really building a site for the ABCD. And it's just so much more satisfying, I think, for all of us to be working on these projects and to be addressing the questions that come up. So the other thing we did this week is we published our draft of our proposal for Catalyst 4. So this is in the Developer Ecosystem Challenge. And it looks like this. What we tried to do is to get all of our text into idea scale this time was attaching a separate file because we know that it can be a headache for I'm getting a little bit of an echo somewhere. Do you guys mind muting? Because we know that, right, if you attach a file, that's an extra step that community advisors have to take and that voters have to take. So everything is here now. And the essence of this proposal really is taking what we've learned over the last 2.5 months and now focusing our efforts and saying, all right, if our mission is to engage as many people as possible on Cardano, and if our mission is to solve as many, the widest variety of problems as possible by really engaging all sorts of people, then what we need to focus on first is pretty clear. We need to bring developers in, and we need to really figure out what that developer focus looks like. So that's what you'll read in this proposal. Julie, you were so helpful in elucidating these ideas. I don't know if there's specifically what you'd like to focus on here.
Yeah, I think and would sum it up in big terms. I think we got to the point that we are so clear about sharpening the focus on the developer experience and make this journey really enjoyable and meaningful, and for each one of you taking own actions, define your way you want to go with that, what you can. What we can provide, what we can create together, and that's really kind of a philosophy. So it won't be a one-stop shop. So you step by, consume something, and step back. We really want to engage you, empower you to take your own journey. That's for sure. And main points. I mean, in terms of experience, like project-based learning, everything what's around workshop, experiencing, getting the hands dirty, we cover that in our experiential dimension. And everything what's to do for developers that may be more experienced, or they just want to learn something new, but they're on a different level in terms of, okay, I can tinker, or I can even really build something. We have the toolbox you can just draw on, but those two things, like the experimentation and the toolbox, really combined gives it's a powerful synergy that we think can create a really unique experience for you. And also read further. I just really want to emphasize our ambition, not to stop there. We really want to be like a self-sustaining business DAO. As James mentioned, we are working on processes, on defining how we are going to do things. And every day we're experiencing new conversations, and we get closer to what it is going to be. One thing is for sure, that we want to bring this side of problems to our place and really get institutions or companies involved to meet our developers, or us as Gimbalabs, right? So that we really have a place where we can experiment, even in that combination. And this in these early stages, actually, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to just try out and just want to get a note of what we're talking about, just step up, come here, and maybe we could be a pilot. And that was maybe a nice experience. So, I mean, I didn't plan to do the shout out, but yeah, actually, that's what I would add to that.
Well said. And yeah, this is the thing, right? I love that you mentioned the problem solving part. From the beginning of Gimbalabs, we've never thought that blockchain, or Cardano in particular, should be applied for its own sake, right? If there's problems to solve, let's try to solve them, right? And we think there's plenty, and there's plenty of applicable problems. So that's a lot of work to do. So yeah, when you read our proposal, you'll see what Julie's talking about, and you'll see how we intend to do what we're saying we're going to do, of helping to grow the developer ecosystem. Also, to echo Julie's words, we're not a one-stop shop, right? We don't want to be. That's not in the interest of decentralized and distributed systems. But we do want to be one place that you can trust to provide scaffolding for whatever you're building, right? You're in charge of building your solution, your organization. But if there's a way that you need just a little support here or a little conversation there, we really hope that we can provide that. And so it's, of course, that involves tools. And we intend to have a toolkit that was already growing, right? It started with the Dandelion APIs. It continues with what we've built over the last 2.5 months and will continue beyond that. But it's also sometimes having just the right conversation at just the right time is even more important than getting your hands on this or that tool. So we aim to provide that as well, okay? That's what you'll see here. To that conversation piece, we've once again combined proposals, right? So our Fund 2 proposal was an idea that I had that combined with an idea that Roberto had, and now we've got Gimbalabs. This round, we started having conversations with Sophie H., who had this proposal called Agile Development Teams for Cardano, and we've integrated with that proposal, and Sophie is just unbelievable at providing that scaffolding. I learn every time I talk to him about how to better and more patiently facilitate. And so when it comes to, again, I'm going to use this word scaffolding again because it's the best one I know to describe what we're trying to do. But he knows how to bring scaffolding to a conversation, and we're really excited to have this partnership, for the next 6 weeks coming out of Fund 4, and to see what kind of systems and processes come out of that. So we invite you to read this. Obviously, we thrive on feedback, and we can't wait to hear what you think. Pop back to the slides here. So next steps. Already said a bunch of these things. We're working on our operations, incentive structures, community structures, all of that. We're hoping for even this work to be hands-on, and we're hoping to be able to share some expertise about how we figured out how to build teams. We continue our Gimbalabs Playground project. More on that to come. Basically, this is creating tools and microservices, and also towards a larger goal that we hope will have some impact on the ecosystem. So more to come on that. And as part of our operations and incentive structures, we realize it's about time that Gimbalabs has a pool. So we're going to get Gimbal Pool up and running over the next few weeks. The real purpose of this pool, if it never saturates, we get it. We hope to be an example of a good small pool and we hope, that it supports our community a little bit. But really, the reason we need this pool is so we can play around with it. There's so much new functionality coming out that stake pool operators are going to have access to. And we recognize that as these new layers of opportunity come online, operating a stake pool is going to appeal to a whole new group of people who say, dang, Babel fees, that's cool. Get me involved in that, right? And that's just the first example. So we want to have our own pool so we can make instructive content and show you how we played with it, how we tried to break it. And so you'll hear about that real soon. And so finally, your next steps. So obviously, go check out that Catalyst proposal. If you're a community advisor, be hard on us, right? Tell us what it needs to say, and whether we get funded or not in Fund 4, we really take Catalyst as a chance to refine our ideas, to meet people, and to really move towards where we're trying to get. So whether you're a CA looking at our Catalyst proposal, or if you're just showing up for the Discord every time you participate, you pitch into a conversation, or you ask questions, you're moving us forward. So thank you in advance for that. And Hemisphere, you get it. Yeah, toys. We got to tinker, right? Kids, this is why we use the word tinker in the first place. Here, can I show this thing? Right. This is why we use the word tinker. Kids learn faster than grown-ups. Is that because their brains are different, or just because they're better at learning? I tend to think it's the second one, right? We forget how to learn because when we grow up, we get really scared of screwing up. Kids just play with things, and sometimes they break things, and that's kind of annoying. We get it, but the benefit of that play, of that tinkering with toys, is you understand things more deeply than if you just read the documentation or just listen to what some head on some video is talking about, right? Go in, play, tinker. So yeah, we really hope that we can provide you some toys to mess around with, and we hope that you tinker with them, you break them, you learn some new things, and you report back to us. As always, we're so grateful for anybody who's checking this video out now or later. We'll stick around for a couple of minutes if anybody else who's watching now has questions or comments. Roberto, Kyle, what'd I miss?
I don't know. I feel like you covered quite a bit. I mean, I'm definitely eventually we'll have to start talking about the Cardano Sharp experiment that I kind of threw out there. So that'll be exciting. But yeah.
Can't wait. I mean, you've convinced me that I'll have to tinker with it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Roberto. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna make you into a .NET dev. Don't try to fight it.
I will try to build on my mobile phone and on my every tiny toy I have. I will try to run that .NET library and have a Cardano wallet in it. That's for sure.
A's question, how much of a DAO is Gimbal? Well, I like addressing this question word by word: decentralized, autonomous, and organized. Organization is the priority right now. We have not provided yet enough organization to really deliver on being a DAO, and that's our growth area, and that's the work we really have to do over the next few weeks. Autonomous, I know in the context of a DAO means the thing runs itself, but also this word to us represents our emphasis on autonomy of everybody who pitches in. I hope you've heard that message loud and clear in what we've done so far. And it's a hard thing to balance, right? Is to achieve a high level of autonomy for all contributors, but also enough organization so that people don't just feel rudderless. And we kind of wrote about this in our proposal. Decentralized, listen, it's still the four of us giving this weekly update, right? So things like that need to change. Okay, so I would say moving towards being a DAO, our hearts are there, and we haven't gotten there yet. And we hope to be able to be experts on what it means to, in fits and starts, move towards being one. So that's where we are right now, and it's up to all of us to continue moving in that direction. Okay. Well, thanks as always. And Kyle, let me put you on the spot real quick. Hey, are we going to go live with the Adopt course and mess around with Glow on Monday night? Is this something that we can fit?
Yeah, I definitely will need to jump in with some Glow. I haven't been able to get to it. I've looked at it, but yeah, I'll be ready. Let's put it that way.
That's my toy project this weekend, is just at least to open it up and go as far as the initial documentation takes me. So
yeah, I mean, that's step one, right? Get it running.
So as long as that happens, preliminarily, we will be messing around with Glow at the Adopt course on Monday night. And yeah, the short video efforts. I thought you were trolling us with that last comment, Hemisphere, but now I see this as one. Good. Nice. Yeah. To Matt and Farouk and everybody who's been working on the short videos. I mean, it's just another example of of our dreams coming true, is seeing other leaders emerge. This is what we want more than anything. It's hard work to get there, but you guys are leading that effort. So thanks. All right. I think that's going to be a wrap for this week's update. We're grateful for everybody out there, and we'll see you real soon. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, guys.